what is the main bottleneck or the problem we are trying to solve in is I got my first order. Now,
Okay.
let's say you want to optimize it more for the first timers who are coming onto the Zepto. As well, we also want to increase our second orders. Hi, folks. I'm right now working as a senior product manager at Zepto. It's in quick commerce space. I look after the entire search, relevance, experience, parts of browse, etc. at Zepto. Hi, Supriya. How are you?
Hi, Sujith. Guys, I'm Supriya Rastogi. I've recently joined as an associate product manager at a Bangalore-based startup called Mason. Prior to this, I was working as a senior software engineer at HCL Tech. So around 5.5 years of experience I have in total. Product management is something that, yes, it's always exciting to talk about it.
Fair, great work, X, I would say.
Thank you.
Completely untraditional and the way you have entered into your APM role at Mason. So we will start this, Supriya. I
Sure.
think I will give you an overall view of what we are trying to do at. Okay, what would be this entire product question is all about. So we will talk in the space of Zepto at this point of time, and what is the main bottleneck or the problem we are trying to solve in is the first time user experience, right? Now,
Right.
what it has optimized for its first order. I got my first order. That's how the entire experience is optimized. Now,
Okay.
let's say you want to optimize it more for the first timers who are coming onto the Zepto. As well, we also want to increase our second orders, right? So,
Okay.
yeah, that's the overall problem statement.
Okay. I'll quickly summarize what I understand. We are talking about Zepto, wherein we have optimized the onboarding process of basically making the user sign up and place their first order. But we also aim to increase that number first of all, and we also want to increase the conversion rates of first time orders to second time orders. Is
Yeah,
that correct? Okay.
correct.
So basically, we want the user to come back to the platform and order for the second time. Got
Correct.
it. Got it. So just before I dive into the same, I would just like to make sure that my understanding of Zepto is correct. So
Yeah.
Zepto, as you mentioned, is a quick commerce platform which promises 10 minutes delivery, and it operates in a lot of cities, mostly tier 1 and tier 2 cities. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And also a quick question here. I think Zepto has two aspects now. One is Zepto, that is the delivery, grocery, home essentials, etc. And there's this another thing called Zepto Cafe. So for the interest of this interview, are we taking care of both of these components, or can we focus on just one?
Yeah, we are taking both.
All right. So Zepto Cafe, what I understand is basically to help you order quick meals as well. So while Zepto helps you order groceries and home essentials, etc., Zepto Cafe helps you order, say, like a coffee on the run or like a sandwich from the nearby eatery. Is that correct?
Yes, it's basically the cooked things.
Yeah, meals, food. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I'll note that down. Okay. So when you mentioned that we are seeing, so we do not see a lot of first-time users coming back to the platform for the second order. I would like to understand two things here. What kind of a drop it is, like if we have any numbers for the same, or if there's any percentage drop or anything like that. And secondly, I would also like to understand what is the period that we are calculating here. Say I order my first order today, then for how long am I not ordering that you take me as a user that's churned?
Yeah. So when I say drop, it's not basically that's happening on a gradual basis. It's a stark decline from my first order activation to my second order activation. Okay.
Okay.
So there is more than 50% of delta in my first order activation to a second order activation. Okay. And because we are into the space of an grocery, etc., right now what we are considering is on a monthly basis.
Okay, 1 month. So we want the second order to come within a month of the first order, within a month or post 1 month.
Yeah, pre 30 days of your first order. Yes.
Got it. Got it. 30 days is what we are aiming at. And also, since you already mentioned that Zepto is, launching pan India, right? So there are new cities coming up every now and then. So
Yeah.
which kind of cities would you like to focus me on here? So are the cities that Zepto is experienced in, or the cities that Zepto is entering now? Do we need to prioritize any?
Yeah, let's prioritize the existing city size of it.
Existing cities.
All the
For
metro.
that, all the metro cities.
Yes.
Okay. While the onboarding experience will be updated for everyone, I think if we know the geo better, then we can optimize it better for the particular kind of users that stay in that area. have a few inputs with respect to some clarifications. Okay, what we'll do is, okay, so I'll quickly summarize what our goal here is and what is our basic ultimate objective. Okay, so our
Okay.
goal here is to basically increase the conversion rates of first time users coming for their second order, and the success criteria that we are looking for here is the user giving their second order within 30 days of their first order. All right.
Fair. Fair.
Okay. And the objective for this, I think we can take three parts here. Number one, that the onboarding
Okay.
is taken care of. While you already mentioned that the onboarding is optimized, but I think still, I mean, so the onboarding process, there are two parts of it: making the user sign up, and then navigating the user throughout the app to help them place their order. So while the first order is completed, so we can take it for a fact that the sign up wasn't an issue for the user, but maybe they have had some problems with navigating through the app or identifying something in the application. Okay, so
Okay.
that is why we're taking navigating. Then we take the first time experience. That is the second part of conversation here. And the third part would be post order experience. The user
Mhm.
has got their delivery, but how are we engaging with them post the order? So then we add the post order experience. So these are the objectives. So we have to optimize for onboarding, first order experience, and the post order experience.
Fair.
Okay. Now, quickly, let us also talk about the users that we are looking for here. I think primarily, please correct me on my assumptions, but I think primarily the kind of users that come onto quick delivery platforms are number one students who are looking for, say, a quick snack, quick meal with respect to Zepto Cafe, or probably order some munchies late at night, something like that. So number one will be students. Number two are, I assume, working professionals who again have a shortage of time, need to order, say, home essentials, daily essentials, or perishable items. So we see that. So since we understand the India scenario, a lot of people, say, homemakers or people who have support at home, they do not really prefer on ordering perishables online. They like their palak and dhania fresh from the market, right? So
True.
I think the working professionals come on the platform to also order such perishables or their daily essentials like their household essentials, groceries, etc. So that is the working professionals. Then, as I mentioned, the homemakers, for them, it is mostly about grocery restocking and home essentials.
Okay.
Okay, so we have students, working professionals, homemakers. Who else can be our user? I think a major part summarizes in these three. And apart from these are occasional buyers who come onto the platform once in a while for something really in specific, or people who are not really used to quick commerce, but in case they find something missing at their home at the last moment, they order it. Or maybe people who are a little elderly, whose children force them to, buy online once in a while. So we have four types of personas here: students, working professionals, homemakers, and occasional users. And I think depending on how Zepto wants to operate, since it focuses a lot on its USP of 10 minutes delivery, I think for the interest of this interview, we can maybe focus on two of these personas to help concise our efforts towards something in specific. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so I would like to go forward with working professionals and homemakers because I think most of their needs intersect with each other. Would that be fine?
Let's say something which is mutually exclusive cohorts.
Mutually exclusive cohorts. Okay. Then we can go for students and homemakers. Is that correct?
Students and homemakers. Any reason why you want to take only those two?
So, okay, I'll tell you. So, number one, because here we are trying to increase the first to second order conversion, right? So, focusing on occasional users, I don't think that can happen so immediately. That is more of a thing of, say, habit for the occasional users. So,
Okay.
to increase the conversion from the first order to the second order, we need to focus on people who are habitual to maybe ordering online but are facing some frictions on our platform. That is how we can optimize the current process. But if we focus on occasional users, let's say we focus on people aged 60 and plus, it's quite difficult to make changes in the product and get them online. It's more about their habits also. A lot of other factors also come. So I think when we talk about product related improvement, I think we can focus on a major chunk of our audience today and get them to using our application more often.
Fair.
Sounds fair?
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
So let's
so
keep our focus only on students and homemakers.
students and homemakers.
Yeah.
All right. So I think the next part of the journey is jotting down the pain points. But to understand the pain points better, I think it's easier if we map the user journey first of how a user comes and orders on the platform. And then on each step, I would like to discuss the pain points. Sounds fair?
Yeah, fair.
Okay, okay. So the first part we've already covered, signing up or the logging in of the user. So that is the first part of the journey, sign up. Second is exploring the platform. So also I'd like to mention here, I'm taking the first experience of the user in purview here, not their second experience, because we have to optimize the first experience so that the user comes the next time.
Fair.
Okay. Okay.
We
Yeah. So
align.
the user signs up. Yeah. Then they explore the platform. Then they go to say discovery. So let's call it product discovery, whatever they want to order. They sign up, they explore, they discover the product, they analyze the recommendations and everything. So I think that is a part of product discovery only, where they see what is available and what kind of prices, etc. Then the next part is add to cart. So they have discovered what they want, and now they have to decide if that is something that they want to buy. So I would like to call that step maybe add to cart.
Okay.
Then fifth step will be, I think then we can come on directly to placing an order. And then for the sixth step, we have, so user has placed an order, then they're waiting for it. So order delivery. And then comes post order experience. Okay. Okay.
What's your difference between exploring the platform versus a product discovery? How do you take those two things differently?
Okay, so for the first time when the user comes on the platform, they usually, see, okay, what all is there on the platform? Where can I see my profile? Okay, where can I feed in my address, etc. So they're getting to know the platform. They're clicking on different widgets. They're clicking on different menus and features to know the platform better. Basically, making themselves familiar with the platform. Product discovery is the natural is the very second step from the second order, wherein you come onto the platform, you search for what you want, you go through the recommendations, see if you what you want is there or not, add it to the cart. So that is product discovery for me is basically searching, going through the recommendations, and then finalizing if what we want is there or not. So that is what I take as I'm calling as product discovery, or you can also suggest if you have any better word for it. I could
No,
not think of
that's fair.
anything better.
That's fair. The definition wise, it's fair. Yeah.
Okay, okay, cool. Now we can talk about pain points. So please correct me here, Sujit, but I think if the user, as I stated before also, if the user has placed their first order, so most likely they did not have any problem while signing,
Cool. Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So for this, we can, for the interest of this interview, we can assume that the sign up process is fine. And from the onboarding, we can take away the signing up part, and we can come on to the platform exploring, or making themselves familiar. So here, if the user is coming and exploring the platform, there are a few pain points that I think they can come across. Number one, lack of familiar categories. So I'm sure Zepto has different categories and sections, but maybe the user is not really familiar with the sections that are mentioned there. They do not understand where to go through, right? Number two, no navigation support. So you know how at times we open an application and there comes those pop-ups to help us navigate through the app. You can find your profile here, and you can find the best section here, and this is where you can see your order. So that is the navigation support that I'm talking about. So maybe there is no navigation support to help the user drive through the application.
Okay.
Yeah. Then, while exploring the platform, lack of familiar categories, no navigation support, and exploring the platform, I think these are the two things, the two main points that a user can face. When we talk about product discovery, so how we do a product discovery, we go to the search icon, we type out the item that we want, we hit on search, and then we wait for it to come. We wait for the recommendations. That is one, or we maybe go to a particular category and try to explore in there. So here also product discovery, the user is unable to find products of their choice via categories. So maybe they do not want to search, and they just want to scroll through and just look at the product of choice and select it. So they are not able to do that. They cannot find whatever they want in any of those categories, which means that the categories are misaligned. Then say the user comes onto the search bar. So another important problem that can be here is maybe the search is not visible to the user, or it's not easily visible to the user. Then we can say maybe the user is trying to search and say, for example, dhania, right? If I want to get dhania, I may not know the English of dhania, and given the current situation of country, while one may be very much aware of English as a language, but we at times forget about the English words for certain grocery items, for example, methi or dhania, etc. So maybe the user is trying to search in their native language, and there is no localization in the search support. So we can type this pain point as unable to search with native language words. I'm sorry, I'm just writing in the most raw form here because just thinking out loud.
It's okay, no, not an issue.
Unable to search with their native language words. We've mentioned that. And once, even if say they search for it, maybe the products that they want are not available on the platform. They search for it, but it says no, this product is not available here. I think these are a few problems that a user can face in the product discovery, which I think is one of the most crucial points in the entire journey. If we can help them find the right product, then half our job is done. Now we just need to make sure that the prices are correct with them. So that is when we come on to the add to cart functionality. Now, we know India is a very price sensitive geography, and no matter what products, what quality, whatever that we are providing, we always have to consider the pricing to the best of its level, right? So when I talk about add to cart, I'm talking about the moment where the user has identified what they want to buy, but now they're making the decision of actually adding to the cart by taking in vision various aspects like, okay, how much does it cost me here? How much will it cost me in the market? Or maybe which platform is giving me a better option. So that is what I'm calling as add to cart. That is the phase. So number one, user finds the prices unfair with respect to other platforms or maybe local markets. Maybe they can find it a little more cheap in their local markets, or maybe on Swiggy Instamart, there's some else other offer running wherein they can find it for cheaper. So that number two, user is not, so we can call it, say, how we have product bundles and we have frequently bought together sections, etc., like that. So this usually incentivizes the user on saving a few bucks, right? So maybe the user is not able to see those incentives or is not able to find those incentives or discounts that basically helps them or motivates them to buy more, get one for 30 and two for 50, like that. So lack of bundles or say discounts. And apart from this, what other thing can stop the user from adding it to the cart is maybe, so I think price is one of the main thing. And here also we can talk about the unavailability of particular product variants also. So maybe they found the product that they want, but it's not available in the variant that they want, or maybe in the quantity that they want.
This would more fit into your product discovery, which you have already mentioned, I think.
So actually, there I mentioned that the product as whole is not available, and here I'm talking about the variant. But yeah, it makes sense. So ultimately, we are talking about unavailability of any sort.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I cannot think of any other pain points as of now. We can move on
Okay.
to the next step. Placing an order. Now, when we are placing an order, that is essentially when we check our address, and also that is when we get in touch with the payment gateway, and all of that starts to come in place. So number one pain point here is maybe the delivery location of the customer is, so basically Zepto does not deliver to those locations. Like maybe it is active in the city, not serviceable. Yeah, I think that is one. Next, we can talk about maybe users' choice of payment method is not available on the platform. Apart from this, placing an order, I don't think any other thing can be a major hiccup. Mostly it's about delivery location and this. And also, yes, one more thing, maybe the customer finds the delivery charges unreasonable, because that is again a major pain point in the India market.
Yeah.
So we talk about order delivery here. I think there's a lot of order delivery basically depends on a lot of other product operations perspectives. I mean, how near is the warehouse for Zepto, or how long did it take for the delivery guy, or how is the delivery guy's behavior. But I'll still point out a few things here. So maybe there is not a proper tracking support, which is not the case. We all know Zepto has an amazing tracking support, but still lack of support in case of any concerns of the user. When we talk about the customer support, basically lack of customer support. That is another thing that can happen here. Thirdly, maybe during the order delivery, the user faces some hiccups. Maybe the delivery guy misbehaved with them, or maybe they find the delivery guy to be doing something that he's not supposed to do. Maybe they're harassing them. So we've seen a similar, kind of incidents previously where there was some mishappening between the delivery guy and the customer. So they might be misbehaving. They might not respond to calls. It basically takes up a lot of things. Then when we talk about the post delivery experience, I think post delivery experience for the first time users, it is very important to remind them to come onto the application. They might have downloaded it and now they've forgotten about it. So maybe we are not re-engaging with them. So maybe we are not sending them the right sort of notifications. We are not reminding them that, hey, we exist, right? So
Yeah.
lack of re-engagement efforts. Then maybe the user also, so they have placed their first order, they have got like, 100 rupees off on their first order, but now they find the platform quite expensive and they do not have a lot of incentives to come back to it. So
Okay.
in that case, lack of incentives in terms of, say, discounts or offers.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from this, post delivery experience, one other thing that might had happened is that they did not receive exactly what they had ordered, or they did not like the quality of what they had ordered. So maybe trust issues. We can also talk about trust issues in the post delivery, or I think we should keep it in the order delivery. The user may have trust issues wherein maybe with respect to the quality or missing items, etc.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we have made a good list of the pain points. Any inputs here, Suji?
Uh, no, I think this looks exhaustive. Something I would say we need to basically think about some of the pain points on the
Hmm.
lines of the discovery of products, right?
Okay. Okay.
Which is like searching, finding out through browse, everything easier for the user. What could also help is what would be an important thing for the user who came onto the app for the first time
Right. Right.
is different from the user who came onto the app for the second time. Correct?
Exactly. Yeah. Correct.
So
Correct.
that nuance can be added in here. Yeah, yeah, but
Um.
yeah,
Okay. So, to understand that better, when the user is coming onto the platform for the second time, these two sections I don't think are as important for the user, right? We
there,
basically start from here.
yes,
Right? Okay. So since we were just noting down the entire journey, we've noted down this. But in the next step, when we talk about, say, solutions, we can ignore this section.
fair enough.
Sorry.
Yeah, I
And
think that
we can start from here itself, right? So I think that
yeah,
would take care of the concern that you just put up regarding the user experience
works.
on the second time. Got it. Got it. Okay, cool. So now, since we have the user journey and the pain points, since we've already identified what is troubling the user, I think it becomes a little more easier for us to have ideas for the solutions. What can we do to solve these? So
Mm-hmm.
here we can talk about the solutions. So the user is unable to find products of their choice of category. It's not easily available. So there are a few things that are very much up in the market, and that's really working out very well. What we can do is when we're onboarding the user, just how Netflix, asks you your choice of series that you want to watch, or what are the top 3 series you watched in the last month. We can have like a similar kind of a quiz or like a similar kind of onboarding experience for the customer. So as we understand their behavior, and then we can have customized or personalized categories or sections for them, right?
Okay,
Just
let
how
me
we
do
understand.
this. Yeah,
Hmm,
before just going into the solutions, let me put
hmm.
one level because we also have a big laundry list of all the problems. Let's
Absolutely.
prioritize couple of problems you think that are important uh, for the second order activations.
Sure. Okay.
There we
We can
can
do
go
that.
into the solutions.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let me just mark the problems I think that we should focus on first,
Mhm.
basis on the gravity of the problems, and then we can move on to solutions. Absolutely fair. So I think in the product discovery, being able to identify products of your choice and being able to identify the right sort of categories is P1. Because if I come onto the platform, I should be able to see in one go the kind of products that fulfill my needs.
Okay.
If I'm a homemaker, then a lot of maybe stationary items won't make a lot of sense to me. That makes more sense to the students. That's number one. And I think when we talk about search, So mostly we have optimized search, and the UI also should be good because the user was able to place the first order. But I think unable to search with your native language words or unable to search in your language can be a major pain point for the users. So again,
Okay.
we can take care of this. Talking about products are unavailable. So this is more of more of a company operations level thing, which I do not think we can solve a lot by making changes in the product itself, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if there is a set of products that are not available, if there's inventory is low or they are not even registered on the platform, this is more of an operations or business side decision to take. Then coming on to user
Mm-hmm.
finds the prices unfair with respect to other local markets or platforms and lack of incentives like bundles and discounts. So I think again, when we talk about prices, this is again more of a business related problem where we cannot do a lot. But yes, what we can try to do is maybe the user's pain point is not that the prices are unfair, it's maybe their perceived value of what we are offering. So maybe they perceive our platform to be a little more expensive. In that case, I think this problem becomes a little more important where we talk about lack of offers or lack of incentives for the customer. Then we talk about placing an order. Again, delivery location is not serviceable, is not something that we can help with the product itself, the
Okay.
application. Then a choice of payment method is not available. This is something that we can look into. Maybe we can integrate with some other checkout partners or make sure that we have COD and everything enabled for the user. And
Mm-hmm.
then delivery charges and other charges are unreasonable. This is also something that we can take care of via offers to some extent. But again, it is also a lot dependent on the business model and the business objectives, right? The requirements. So there's again not a lot that we can do with respect to the product. Coming on to the order delivery, absent of good tracking support, lack of customer support. I think these are the two things that we can help in. Behavior of the delivery guy is again an operations level issue that we'll have to tackle otherwise. Maybe train our delivery guys better or have like a good training for them, etc. And then talking about trust issues. So again, this is something that we need to solve via our support. If the user is facing some issues with respect to missing items, quality issues, then that is something that we take care of via our support. And then post
No.
delivery experience, I think both of these are quite important to consider because this is where we are trying to get the user back onto the platform. So again, I think both engagement efforts and lack of incentives is something that we need to cater.
Fair.
Okay.
Okay. So I think now as you have prioritized, I will also slightly structure this thought for you. Let's
Yeah.
focus on solutions in our product discovery and
Okay.
also post-order, post-delivery experience.
Post delivery experience and ordered product discovery. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So number one is that, so as I was speaking, to understand the kind of categories and the kind of choices that the customer wants to make, we need to first understand their lives, right? And for that, we can have like a very simple onboarding process wherein we ask them questions about maybe what kind of food do you prefer? Maybe vegetarian, maybe non-vegetarian, maybe the kind of cuisine that they prefer, maybe South Indian or uh, uh, Bengali cuisine or Gujarati cuisine, etc. So that will help us understand the kind of ingredients maybe they would prefer or the kind of tastes that they have. So for
Mm-hmm.
that, I would suggest that we have um, a quiz kind of an onboarding experience for the customer when they are coming onto the platform for the first time. So that is where we understand and we get data. Okay, so this is the user, and that is also where we understand the persona of our user, if it's a student or if it's a working professional or a homemaker. Then once we are done with that, then we can have categorically we can have different sections for different kind of users, because now we understand this is what this user is about. We can have maybe you know um, a section for homemaker essentials, like a section that is primarily visible to our audience who's homemakers, so homemaker essentials. Or we can have like back to school category, so maybe the summer break is finishing and students need pens and registers and all sorts of stationery, so back to school categories. So basically personalized category based on what we've received from the quiz. Sounds good?
Okay.
Then when we talk about unable to search with the native language, that is somewhere where localization comes into picture. So we should have more localized search engines which help us optimize the search for the user. So again, that is something that can happen only with time. So we cannot expect our platform to be aware of DHANIA and DHANIYA. In the first go. It will take some time for our models to understand and learn that. So again, maybe AI algos, or we can also have like an ML algo for that, wherein we localize, where we optimize the localized search. That is something that we can do here. And also we can have a section called, so once we get to have multiple inquiries in the localized language, we can also have like are you looking for this kind of a feature, wherein we suggest maybe what the user is typing out is quite different from what we know. So we can have like are you looking for this? Similar to how Netflix shows, if you're looking for this, we're sorry, it's not available, or something like that. So even if something is not present on Netflix, they know that this is something that the user is looking for, and let me tell them that it's not available.
Okay.
So these are a few solutions that I think we can have for the product discovery.
Okay.
Coming back to the post-delivery experience. Okay. So when we talk about post-delivery, I think we majorly talk about how we are reminding the customer of our presence again, right? That is what re-engagement is all about. So number one, as the OG initiatives, push notifications, and we can again try to keep them as interesting and as interactive as how we see Zomato and Swiggy's interactions, right? Maybe we can have like a dairy essentials notification going up at 8 a.m. every morning. Okay, so did your doodwala did not come this morning? It's okay, we have got you sorted. Like that. Now again, a dairy notification won't make a lot of sense to a student, right? Because they're not taking care of that. That is not something that reminds them, okay, oh my God, I need to order curd for making this and that. But for homemakers, it makes a lot of sense. So personalized push notifications are the way to go. We cannot go with generic notifications. Also, when we are talking about notifications, we can make them category specific also. So if they are personalized, they will automatically have to be category specific.
Fair.
Okay. Then
Yes.
talking about lack of incentives or discounts. For this, I think, now please correct me if I understand the psychology of the user here correctly is. So as we know, India is a price sensitive market. And when the user is coming onto the platform for the first time, we need to do something that helps them remember us for a longer time, right? So maybe for the first order, what we can do is, as your first order, we are offering you this product bundle, right? And we can have like the most generic products there. For example, milk, ghee, or maybe milk, curd, bread, something that we all know is used in every Indian household almost on daily basis, right? So maybe we can make it like a 200 bundle at a price of 150 rupees, right? So that is something that we offer to them in the first go. That is the maybe first order savings bundle. And then in the coming days, we can also offer them other frequently big saving bundles, right? So here, although this is not a post-delivery experience solution, but still I would like to mention it. Product bundles with, for example, like a first order savings bundle, or next we can have like a back to Zepto product bundle. So basically, you are incentivizing them for coming back to the platform and making their second order. Here also, so again, these bundles can be very generic in nature. They do not need to be even personalized. You can just take a look of what are the things that people generally order and just give them at, say, 50 rupees less or 60 rupees less. And then, of course, comes the OG eye candy for any Indian user, that is discounts, right? So then we talk about discounts like BOGO, or maybe delivery offs. Delivery offs is something that makes every Indian user happy. I mean, I'm sure it in the audience also is something that it actually makes me very happy. So delivery offs, we are not charging you for the delivery of your first 5 orders. And again, apart from this, we can have other frequent discounts that are generally also offered by the platform. So I think these are a few solutions that I can think for these two set of pain points. And now I think we can move on to the prioritization of these solutions and help understand what exactly is implementable and what are basically what may go wrong with any of them.
Okay.
Before that, do you want me to clarify on any of these inputs or anything that you want me to mention about?
No, I think that's fair. We can go into a prioritization frame.
Okay, cool. Okay. So since you're working in a table, I think it will help to work here only. And we can use a impact versus effort prioritization metric here, prioritization framework here. So what I can do is I cannot write high impact, high effort every time. So I'll write HH for high impact, high effort, HL for high impact, low effort, and so on. Yeah. So for a quiz like onboarding for the first time experience, for the first time customers, I think this is something that will have high impact, and it is not so effort centric, right? It will require dev inputs, but we basically have to make like a quiz for the customers. And we in fact have a lot of other third party tools also which offer such quizzes and such tools. So you just need to integrate those widgets in your platform and it's done. So it's if you have to integrate the widgets, it's not more than 2 days of efforts. If you have to build it yourself, still for developers, I do not think this takes more than 7 days of efforts, but
Okay.
that's also to the max. So I think I would name this as high impact and low effort, because
Okay.
that is something that can be done quite easily. Then
Yeah.
personalized categories based on the quiz inputs. Now, if we have to make personalized categories, again, we have to analyze a lot of inputs that we are getting from the quiz. And then basis all the analysis, we can then have categories based on each analysis. So again, this would require us some time to be able to analyze what we're getting from the quiz, right? So this is definitely high impact, but this will also take high efforts with respect to the time involved. So you will
Okay.
require to input more time. So I think I can call it as HH.
Yeah.
Then AI algorithm for localized search optimization. Now again, very high impact, but high efforts as well, because we have to build an entire algorithm, be able to understand what the users are searching for, make our algorithms familiar with the localized word, feed them with the right sort of data set. There's a lot of impact, of course, but there's a lot of effort involved. Then search ins of, are you looking for this? Again, if we have the algorithm for localized search active, then these search ins won't be such a problem for us to implement. It's quite easy. You just basically need to communicate what you understand to the user better. So this is high, but I won't also call it like a very major high impact here, because if anyway we have optimized our search, a major problem is solved there, right? We can call it low impact, low effort, but always a good to have. If I was to mention it like that, so not a should have, but a good to have or could have. So this is how we can prioritize these. Coming on to the post delivery experience, for the push notifications personalized for the customer, this is something that I think is extremely important to do at the moment to bring the user back. So again, it may take us some time. It may take us quite a few efforts to understand the kind of user category and what the user would like to order. But it is also high impact. If I can get the right set of notification at the right time, bingo. Actually, maximum of my orders are on Zomato and Swiggy are because I see a notification and I start to crave for it. Right. So it's all about getting that sweet spot on in the user's journey. So high effort, high impact. Then category specific product bundles, the category specific notifications. These were sorry.
Yeah. Notifications.
Yeah.
Yes.
So again, so if I understand the users and I know the categories, if I have a set of categories, then category specific notifications are not something that would require a lot of efforts for us to do. So again, we
Okay.
can call it uh, high impact, low effort.
Okay.
Product bundles, again, this is something that can have a lot of impact on our customer. But for this, we again there comes a lot of tangents when we talk about product bundles or discounts, right? We have to take care of the business as well. We have to make sure that we have the right sort of ROI coming out of it. So there are a lot of other tangents involved here. But again, if we talk about technical efforts, because when we are to prioritize these solutions, I think we are prioritizing more in terms of technical efforts, then there's not a lot of technical effort that's required to have the right sort of product bundles. So high impact, low effort. And then talking about BOGO, delivery offs, order discounts. Again, from the technical point of view, it's not difficult to enable multiple discounts, but again, there's a lot of other things in the background that are always ongoing. So actually, I would like to make these as two offer. So maybe we can have like BOGOs and discounts at one place. And the delivery of for the first 5 orders is a totally different solution. So I think again, high impact, low efforts. And when we talk about BOGOs and discounts, this again, it totally depends. So I think we can take it again as high impact and low efforts. But again, a lot of this depends on the business, right? So I
Yeah.
think the implementable solutions here, if we finally have to summarize, so I think we should start with the high impact, low efforts. So having the quiz for the customers, and the basis on the quiz, we can start to evaluate our inputs and data sets and responses every now and then. So this again, while it is a high impact and a high effort solution, but this is something that we should start doing right when we start the quiz onboarding. Then we have
Okay.
the AI algorithm. So again, we can have this maybe in the next quarter, but again, to implement the AI algorithms correctly, we should first have the users understanding, then we can have the algorithms. I think we can park this for now, maybe have it in the next sprint. Then search for what you're looking for. Again, this is totally dependent on the search optimization, so we cannot take up this as well, Raw. Then push notifications is something that we should pick up, high impact. And similarly, category specific notifications, huge impact. Then
Okay.
I would also like to take in the product bundles in picture here, because again, we just want to make our platform as memorable for the customer as possible, and nothing is more sweet to Indians than getting offs. And similarly, delivery offs, a very high impact and low effort initiative, first of all, and then a very impactful solution, as we've seen over multiple case studies also. We've seen this in case of almost every other platform, that you give a delivery of and the user is more than happy to come in. Yeah, so I think these are the solutions, and this is how I would like to prioritize them. Also, since we're talking about the solutions, it would be nice if we also talk about some metrics here to make sure that we have the right success and criteria, and to evaluate all of that, it's important to have the metrics. So number one will be definitely retention. And how do we define this retention is user, as we discussed initially, only user placing their second order within 30 days of first order. So that then we can talk about the time that it took. So of course within 30 days, but how long still it took? Did it take them 7 days or 10 days or 15 days or full 30 days? So time to second order. Then I think since these are fresh users, these are freshly acquired users, I think it is also important to keep in check the customer satisfaction. So for that, we can take care of the feedbacks, quantitative, qualitative feedbacks, or we can have some other, thumbs up, thumbs down notification coming onto them post delivery. Basically, customer satisfaction score. So CSAT is another metrics that we should track. And apart from this, I think one another metrics that will actually help us understand the user and the pain points coming forward also is the time that it took for the user to sign up on the platform and place their first order. If we know that the conversion from sign up to placing the first order is not that much, then a lot of our problems get eliminated in the first place as well. So I think this is also a metric that we can track, time to order. That is basically sign up to first order. Yeah. So I think these are a few metrics that I can think of at the moment that will really help us understand the impact of what we are doing, and will also help us make our efforts better. So yeah, this is
Perfect.
it. Would you like me to summarize it quickly, or any final thing here?
No, I think that should be fine. I think, Supriya, you did a great job. You are very
Thank
close to
you.
the perfect answer, what everyone will look for. But I want to add few things
Yeah.
on how you have performed overall level pay.
Yeah, sure. Please.
Asian questions, you are on point. You started basically with what you have understood. Then you have posed questions on what you haven't understood, and good that the interviewer and the interviewee both came onto the same page before we start anything. So that's like an 5 on 5 for you. Uh, Understanding the user needs. There again, which is a continuation of your clarifying questions. What are the different user types you are having, user cohorts, how you have broken down all your homemakers to professionals to students. That's also perfectly fine. There is no stone that you have unturned in your user cohorting sections. That's also perfect. Uh, Third, I think user pain points or gains or prioritization of your user needs. Here is where I want to add a point for you.
Hmm.
You are basically answering from the point of view of a Zepto, right, which is a quick commerce.
Hmm.
And quick commerce basically serves the need for the users who don't have time,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
That's the main user segment we need to always target for,
Right.
in which homemakers will not be a part. When compared with your working professionals, when compared with
Right.
your, you have more amount of time.
Hmm.
So turning them around onto a quick
Noted.
commerce, right? So
Noted. Of
their
course.
user
Makes
professional
sense. Yeah.
should be and user
Yeah.
professional should be one of your priorities there,
Right. Right.
right? That's one point. All other things looked fine there. Again, on your pain points, the way you have created your entire user flow from sign up, app opens, discoveries, add to carts, ordering, deliveries, post order experience, delivery experience, everything is perfectly fine. Yeah, just one thing which you have untouched is about our small point of how do you talk about your second order initiatives, right? So in generic sense, how what happens is when you're talking about your second order,
Hmm.
uh, in kind of a space like an Zepto or any kind of a grocery, either do
Hmm.
you want to repeat the same product type that you're purchasing? Chahe you have purchased a milk,
Okay.
dhania, or a tomato, or an atta,
Hmm.
or any other thing.
Right.
Do you
Right.
want to just let the user key buy these again? Or do you
Right.
want to let the users buy some cross things, go in
Right.
electronic home things, etc.? That
Absolutely. Yeah.
clarification or pain point is something which we can touch upon, but all
Hmm.
other pain points that you have touched are perfectly online. There is
Right.
no pain point that you said is not a pain point, and you have covered everything. It's very good there. Even though you
Right.
missed that, I would say your points for the pain points would be 5 on 5
Thank you.
because
Thank you
of
so
the
much.
exhaustion that you have made. They're good to have, yeah. And your solutions, your prioritization there, fair enough. Whatever you have shared, whatever the pain points you have talked upon, and how you have prioritized them based on your impacts, based on your efforts, absolutely fine. Uh, One thing I would say, when you're prioritizing your right solution out, that could help you also is again combining that with the strategy of the business, right? Even though
Hmm.
the kind of a feature which you have again added at the end, high impact hai, low effort hai, but you are saying you will not go with the discounts in the first place because it's not business accretive. That's a very good point that you have made on, because you always want to gain on top of what we have right now. Giving
Right.
discounts, getting orders, giving coupons, getting orders is the easiest way any organization can do. But
Right.
that's
Right.
that's not a business accretive. Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
that's a very good PM skill that you have in. You're not going to a very regular solution, which is a business degradative. And you have
Yeah.
called that out very loud at the end. That's a good point. That's the perfect
Thank you.
prioritization anyone in the business would love to hear.
Yeah.
Uh, Impact,
Thank you.
the metrics that you have talked upon, pointed. Probably we should have talked upon the metrics that we are talking at the start, and then we need to
Okay.
talk about the improvement of this metric. How much, like
Okay.
direction, what are the things that can give me more impact, less impact, etc. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
but
Noted.
yeah, that's also there. I think awareness is where I would say the fallacies in the solutions is where you can slightly touch upon more.
Hmm.
The cross impacts is basically the fallacies in the solutions. You're
Hmm.
building something, so it should not deteriorate you or any other things, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
One of your solutions and that we have prioritized is the quiz part. It's very
Right.
good thing. You get a lot of data, you can train it, you can make the experience better. The fallacy for
Hmm.
that, be right? It increases it will have an impact on your first order activations because you're creating some
Okay.
more hurdles to the user to make the first order activated,
Right.
right?
You're increasing the time as well. Yeah.
You're increasing the time. That would be slightly lower effect. And we
Hmm.
can take a call. Even if you want to see, you can see your metrics, you can see an A/B experimentation, how much that is improving versus how much it is gaining in. But it's good to call
Hmm.
out that this will have some kind of an domino effect on some other metrics, these
Right.
are really good to have.
Right.
I'm going to build this metric, but I might have a degradation on some other thing.
Absolutely. Noted. Noted. Yeah.
Apart from that, I think absolutely pointed. There is clear things that you have called out. There are like cherry on top of the cake that you have called out. Overall, you're, I would say, on the perfect lines of how you need to answer for any kind
Thank
of
you.
an product question. Great work here. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sujit. That's actually a lot of constructive feedback. And I mean, it all makes sense and it all falls straight in line. I'll definitely work on these. So, fallacies, and then being able to understand the correct users, and then also some level of prioritization. It's also something that I can look into. Absolutely.
This was a recording of the live event hosted by Upraised. If you like more content like this, check out the link below.